Okay, guys, thanks for hanging out. I know it's early. I don't know how early it is. Well, where are you guys? Where's everybody from? Oklahoma time. It's 2:37 in the morning. You can see that down here. I want to stay out ahead of this for one simple reason. It looks like, and we're going to go through this real quick. It looks like mainstream corporate media, national news hasn't gotten to this story yet. A lot of you have tipped me off this. I wasn't aware of it until somebody was saying, "Hey, what's going on in Putnam County, New York, with this Whiskey Warrior 556 guy?" I didn't know anything about it. I was trying to brush up on it before I came online, and it looks pretty fishy to me. So you got local affiliate stations. Looks like NBC's covering it, NBC New York, but they're local stations. You don't see it on CNN or MSLSD or ABC yet. So I want to stay out ahead of this. I'm going to go ahead and zoom this in a little bit so you can see what I'm reading. First, I want to go over how the affiliate stations. Hold on. I just lost my chat. Okay, let's go over some of this real quick. I can't even believe there's that many people in here at 2:30 in the morning. Earlier on the East Coast, later on the West Coast. But check this out. I'm going to go ahead and zoom this in right here. Tilt that so there's not much glare. Should be able to hear this okay. Yeah, these are the diehard truthers right here, man. 2:30 in the morning. Let's get this going. Okay, listen up.
Kayla. Well, that situation came to a peaceful resolution at 9:30 on Saturday night when Carmel police say that man who had barricaded himself in a nearby home.
Now, when she says it came to a peaceful resolution, it didn't look like at any point there was anything but peacefulness. The guy wasn't armed. And we're gonna go over his social media page in a second and actually show what he was airing while the cops are sitting in his driveway.
Finally surrendered. Various law enforcement agencies staged here at Lakeview Elementary during that nearly 7-hour standoff that included Carmel, Putnam County, and Westchester County Police. Carmel police say that this all started after 2 p.m. when they went to speak with a 20-year-old man about a domestic incident that had happened earlier in the day and his wife. They say that that man then barricaded himself in his home.
Yeah. Checkpoint says barricade equals he shut the door. You're going to hear some hyperbole that the news crews use, and you know it's for clicks. You just know it.
We say they don't believe that he had a gun, and they say that no one else in the community was in danger. Negotiators worked throughout the day trying to get that man to come out of his home, but they say that he was posting live updates on social media and that his followers only aggravated the situation.
Now listen to this cop right here. Listen to him. Dr. Phil here. Well, listen, he just issues here's my diagnosis.
The person is having mental illness, having issues, and he didn't need the people on social media telling him that his rights are being violated. He needed help, medical help.
Okay, thanks, doctor. Thanks. I thought you were a cop. Didn't know you were a doctor. Just an on-the-spot diagnosis right there. Thanks, doc.
Now, police say that man is not expected to face charges from this standoff and that they're just grateful that no one was injured. Reporting in Putnam County, Kayla Ayers.
Grateful that no one was injured from what? The guy was disarmed, completely disarmed. And I'll show you that in a second.
And now a dangerous standoff.
Now, watch how they started. This guy started his news thing like this.
Information about the man at the center of the standoff in Putnam County.
Okay, standoff, no danger, peaceful resolution. Here's how these people start their news, bro.
Now a dangerous standoff just ended up in Putnam.
Dangerous standoff. It was dangerous. Oh, really? Can you be specific, man? What was dangerous about it? Matrix says alert, mental illness, no problem, no probably direct energy, mind control weapons. Yeah, I don't know.
Putnam County, a man in military gear kept police at bay for 6.5 hours.
Yeah, did the doctor? Yeah, Happy Clam says, did the doctor examine the patient before making the diagnosis?
Nearby homes had to be evacuated. Police negotiators had to be called in, all while that suspect shared this entire ordeal to his followers live on Instagram. It happened in the town of
It really wasn't much of an ordeal, and there was nothing dangerous about this. These guys are trying to, drum up fear and excitement, and I got to see what happened. What happened in Putnam County?
Mayapack, and News 4's Miles Miller tells us why this guy's social media posts were such a concern for officers. This is the man police say they were looking to speak to, 28-year-old military veteran Alexander Booth.
For the record, I have no firearms on me whatsoever.
They say he was involved in a domestic incident, sending officers to his home around 2 p.m. Saturday.
This is behind the scenes action.
The police wanted to speak to him about that, and at that time, he ended up becoming barricaded in the residence.
Booth refused to leave and even began streaming the standoff on Instagram stories.
You think they're gonna come to you, guns blazing, rolling deep?
Police had Mayapack surrounded, streets blocked off, and homes evacuated. They say people on Instagram encouraged him, urging him not to surrender to police, which means the entire ordeal went on for hours.
The negotiators were very close a few times in getting the individual to come out of the residence peacefully. And the posts that were on Instagram and other social media were just inciting him.
Police say sympathizers online even posted a call to action, encouraging people to go to the scene or to call 911 to tie up resources. Sources tell News 4 Booth suffers from PTSD, and responding cops took that into question during negotiations.
This is a person in crisis, having mental illness, having issues, and he didn't need the people on social media telling him that his rights are being violated.
You're going to see why in a second. This cop wants you to believe that this guy, this Alex guy, Whiskey Warrior 556, has mental issues.
Violated.
And I agree with, let's see, who just said that? Hey, one of those guys, what's up? Somebody just said, oh yeah, Eric Shank said this has Psy-Op written all over it. I 100% agree, guys. There's so much that doesn't add up, and we'll see that in a second.
That was News 4's.
All right, so that's where that ends right here. Now we have this write-up is pretty interesting. Let's see. Police surrounded a Putnam County home for several hours Saturday, waiting for a man in military gear to surrender. This just I mean, if you didn't know anything about it, you'd think, oh my God, this guy's hunkered down. He's ammoed up. He's ready to go. He's going to kill some police. The standoff between police and 28-year-old Alex Booth started shortly after 2 p.m. and lasted for several hours. Now, the question is, why did they come out? What was the reason for them coming out? Officers first arrived at Mayapack residence in response to a domestic incident. No specifics. They even say it right here. Let's see where it is. Where is it? Officers first arrived as residents in response to a domestic incident. A domestic incident. No specifics at all. What? Did he beat his wife? We can look at his Instagram. You can see him and his wife. You know, the baby right here. This is Whiskey Warrior 556's Instagram page. He's got 119,000 followers. I'm not sure what he had yesterday, but somebody was saying that he was gaining like 1,000 followers in every 5 minutes or something. I'm going to show you just from some of his posts why they say that this guy has mental issues. Okay, and it's probably for reasons that you're already guessing. Why would law enforcement? Why would government officials say that somebody who's resisting them has mental issues? I wonder why. That's when Booth barricaded himself inside, kicking off a nearly 7-hour standoff while police stationed themselves outside the home. Booth broadcast himself on Instagram. Officials said commenters on social media app encouraged Booth to remain inside. Yeah, and why not? You're safer inside. If they're going to come in and get you, they're going to violate the Fourth Amendment to do it. Did he commit a crime? What are the charges against him? Do they have a warrant? If they have a warrant, what crime is he supposed to have committed? No crime was articulated by the news people. No crime was articulated by the cops. Nothing was said by this chief right here, Chief Michael Kazari, resident Dr. Phil here, who's already declared Alex Booth to have a mental illness. Let's see why. Let's see why Alex. Why would they think that Alex has a mental illness? I think this comic is absolutely hilarious. Why did he cross the road? Well, that's a good question. You see, a chicken will go where it wants without ever having to justify it. Do you get the idea there? We're free men. They don't believe in bureaucracy and they don't care for laws. Chickens are anarchists. Anarchists not meaning, Molotov cocktails and cars burning in the streets and blood flowing and windows broken in the background. Anarchists simply mean, hey, I don't need a ruler. I don't need congressional parasites telling me what to do. He's got this quote by Adolf Hitler. I've quoted this several times on my channel. The best way to take control over a people and control them utterly is to take a little of their freedoms at a time, to erode rights by 1,000 tiny, almost imperceptible reductions. In this way, the people will not see those rights and freedoms being removed until past the point at which these changes cannot be reversed. It could be spurious. Maybe Adolf Hitler didn't say this, but whoever wrote this is absolutely true. And this is absolutely why politics and government is set up. It's not to give freedom. It's not to grant wealth, because they can't grant wealth or anything like that. It's to take your freedom and to steal your wealth. That's what governments do. That's what they're all about. And if you resist governments, well, you're a bad person, aren't you? I like this one right here. Make November Stockholm Syndrome Awareness Month. And instead of this little patch that people have, this little sticker they put on their lapel after they voted, this says, I voted, as if that were a virtuous and noble thing. I continued the cycle of my own oppression today. That'd make a great t-shirt. So this guy's obviously anti-government. Why? Because he's pro-freedom. If you're pro-government, even if it's minarchism, if you're for small amounts of government, then you're for small amounts of the initiation of unjust force and violence on peaceful people who haven't done anything wrong. And therefore, that makes anybody who backs that kind of ideology completely immoral. Oh, this right here probably really... See, here's what I think. I think a red flag law was issued against this guy, and they're just not saying it yet. And this guy was peacefully resisting his red flag law, whatever red flag law. That's my guess. I don't know if that's true or not, but nothing makes sense. Why aren't they specific about this domestic incident? Why let's just watch some of his video right here. Every time you see him videoing, you don't see his wife in the picture. You don't see his baby in the picture. He could have easily hidden him from view. They could have been in the house. They could have been somewhere else. Who knows? I don't know. Did he beat his wife? I mean, what's the charge? Why do they want him? Why is he a wanted man? Why all the resources? Check this out.
For the record, I have no firearms on me whatsoever. Magazine.
You can call this guy mental or whatever, but that is an absolutely good move to put on social media, that you are disarmed. You're not looking to harm anybody. That's a really good move. Very strategic.
Empty. Hashtag HSGI Taco Boogaloo. Whoop whoop. Redcoats. Fuck off.
So cops in the driveway. Now, I'm not backing this guy. I don't know who this guy is. Could he be crazy? Sure, he could be crazy, but I'm not going to make a determination. I'm not going to give you a diagnosis. I don't know. How did what's this guy's name? How did Kazari? How could he make an on-the-spot determination of this guy's mental fitness right there, right when the cameras are on? Has he talked to him? Has he consulted a physician? I doubt it. He just wants to paint this picture in a particular light, because that's what psychological operations is. It's trying to prime the pump of your mind to get you to think along the lines of authoritarians and be agreeable with what they pass. There's no...
I've got the high ground. Don't underestimate my power. Redcoats.
He's calling the cops redcoats, and they do act like redcoats. I mean, that's true.
This is behind the scenes action. Mildly autistic because, as my handle says, whiskey, warrior, and so, here we are. crikey. We got pigs on our left and pigs on our right. And we got an unarmed patriot because
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you, but I don't know. Declan09 says he doesn't seem crazy from what I can see. It's hard to make that determination just from watching a video. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because people get pissed off when they get pushed to the edge. If he was being served a red flag law notice, that's an absolute violation of the Second Amendment. It's a violation of the Fourth Amendment, and more importantly, it's a violation of the oath the cops who serve those red flag laws in these the Extreme Risk Protection Order and now the Dan Crenshaw Brian Babin Taps Act. It will push you to do things like this right here. And then they start calling you crazy. Why? Because you're standing up for your freedom. Oh, you're crazy. You're not going to accept this red flag law. That's the law of the land. You better take it. You better submit to our authority. If you don't, we're going to declare you mentally ill. I think that's what's going on here.
you think they're going to come to you. Guns blazing, rolling deep in your fortress house. No, they're going to.
Yeah, Shell Reich says he's probably an actor, part of the Psy-Op himself. Could be. I don't know. How did somebody brand new get 119,000 followers? How deep does the Psy-Op go? Could he be on it? Sure. Yeah. It could be drawn all these followers right here. They could be just drawing people and creating a list so they can issue extreme risk protection orders on them. Who knows? We should look at every angle, believe nothing, and criticize and double check everything. That's what we should live by.
Shiesty, faggots, pussies, showing up at your job. Show up at your job and arrest you without due process, your constitutional rights. They will humiliate you just because of hearsay. Oh, just doing my job.
That's true. Everything he's saying is true. We've seen that time and time and time again with all these cop videos. They completely trash even the law that they say they're there to enforce.
Okay, how'd that work out for the fucking Nazis? You realize they don't write the laws, but enforcing them is kind of worse, right? Discretion.
That's what we've talked about. It's like who did the work? Who did the most evil? The ones who wrote the laws, or the ones who turned off their minds and enforced those wicked laws? Because most you gotta admit, most laws are 100% immoral, wicked, and downright cruel.
Serious question. To the boys in blue, the thin blue line, what's it like?
Yeah, Jeremy Stubbs says he's hitting on all the important talking points from our side. He's being depicted as a madman. Interesting. Yep, exactly. And we have to keep our minds open to the possibility that he could be part of the psychological operation, and he might not be. Who knows? We just have to keep our ears to the ground and our eyes open. What's up, David?
To arrest someone on the grounds of high capacity magazines, which 30 rounds is standard capacity, just for the record. What's it like to know that the founding fathers would shit on you?
Talking to the cops, what would the founding fathers think about you trampling the Constitution that you swore to uphold and protect and defend?
It's a legit question for anyone that wants to answer. Cops, ATF, FBI, all you.
Hey, Scotland, what's up, S. Kyle Brown?
For the record, high capacity is 30 rounds and above. Like them surefire 60s, America.
Hey, Gary.
For the record, high capacity is 30 rounds and above. Like them surefire 60s, America.
All right, so that pretty much ends this video, but I wanted to share that with you because you guys brought this to my attention, and I'm thinking, man, I don't buy any of this stuff. I don't buy, and I can't wait to see what happens when CNN gets a hold of it. How's the Communist News Network going to slaughter this and twist it and make people who really, really care about freedom and really, really don't want tyranny, how are they going to spin this? Let's see what this says. Pictures of his daughter. Here's a picture of him and his daughter. Apparently they have a newborn. He's just a regular guy. Here's him and his wife expecting their first child. I want to know the details of the domestic dispute. I want to see him get back on Instagram and explain from his side why they were there. You know, maybe get his wife on and, you know, I don't know what's going on here. I really don't. Willing to cross the frozen river to kill you in your sleep on Christmas. Totally not kidding. We've done it. You know, people can see this right here as sedition. Oh, we got to put these people in jail. Yeah. Yeah. You would have put George Washington in jail. You would have put Thomas Jefferson in jail. He's an Afghanistan vet. I think that's him right there. He's got a couple of him in military. Yeah, says he was stationed in Afghanistan. Whiskey War 556. I'm thinking 556 is, you know, the NATO round that you can shove in the chamber of your AR-15. Just a guess. And I was talking to Trish a little bit ago about this picture right here. You know, people can have a problem with this. You know, if somebody saw this on your social media, this is the climate we live in right now. Somebody can see a picture like this, and then he's got a baby, and oh my gosh, this baby must be in danger. He must be a danger and a threat to himself and to others. Yeah, 911. Yeah, we need you to go over to Alex Booth's house because we think, you know, we think he's a danger to himself and others. And then they're going to go over to his house and serve an extreme risk protection order on the guy, take the firearms out of his house, trample his Fourth Amendment rights. This is the world we're living in. And they're going to call a guy like this crazy. So I wanted to cover this before CNN got to it tomorrow morning because this just went down. I think it started at 1 or 2 p.m. New York time, Eastern Standard Time, and it just ended. It was a 7-hour quote unquote standoff. What are your guys' thoughts on it? Let's see some of your thoughts. What do you guys think? Drone Wolf Media says he's been following it all evening. What do you think, Drone? Psy-Op? At least on one side of it? I gotta think that that it's a complete psyop on the news side of it. Let me see. I'm gonna move this right here. Make sure you check out Zachary K. Hubbard to see if there was any occult numerology behind that. That's Bob Barker. Thanks, Bob. I think we're being played like fools, Eric says. Yeah, you know, they like doing that. And I really like this quote by, you know, whoever wrote this. I don't know if Hitler wrote it. I probably shouldn't even said his name, but it really bears repeating. It's probably a good thing to memorize because this is what happens. I mean, practically speaking, this is how they do it. The best way to take control over a people and control them utterly is to take a little of their freedoms at a time. You know, you can't disturb the slaves. You got to make sure the slaves are happy on the plantation. If you have unhappy slaves, there's going to be an uprising, and the rulers just can't have uprisings. To erode rights by 1,000 tiny, almost imperceptible reductions. In this way, people will not see those rights and freedoms being removed until past the point at which these changes cannot be reversed. I just think that's a powerful statement. I don't care who wrote it. It's just true. 30-round standard truth, says Red Wing. Here, let me just back up here. Let's see. What are you guys saying? First John says, red flag, red flag. The children can't wait to see how this plays out. False flag on some level. I'm in that camp. So how did this standoff end? Apparently, you know what? They're not really specific on how the standoff ended. They just said it ended peacefully. It's very vague. There's so much vagary. If you were a journalist, wouldn't you want to get specifics? They're keeping this intentionally vague. When I first read this article right here, which one was it? This one, there's this article, and then this article, which went along with the video. I'm thinking, there's vague. First of all, why were you there? A domestic incident? Okay, what can you be specific about that? Nobody's being specific. They're not pinning themselves down. They're not painting themselves into a corner. They keep it very general. Is there proof that any patriots showed up? I didn't see any. And, they were doing real tight camera shots. There's a lot of stuff going on in the dark. Sailor Spirit says that looks like a pic of him from the Korangal. I don't know what that is. Declan09 says, really got to say, the more I see, the more I think he's just having fun with all this. One of those guys says, it's hard to tell. Some say it was about the 30-round mag. Some are saying it's all about the RF law, the red flag laws. I think it's a combination of both. I mean, you got pictures of him up here with, of course, the vilified weapon, the AR-15, right here on his shirt. You got people with guns. This is George Washington because tyranny ain't going to un-F itself. You got guns shooting. You got, who's that, Geronimo with an AR-15 all tricked out right there. Got that evil pistol grip. That's just, there's the evil pistol grip. That's a little one of them doohickey things right there. And that one little sight. And oh my God, there's the high capacity magazine. We got, is that a silencer right there? Or they call that a suppressor? Or what is that? And people just get all freaked out about it. It's like, oh my gosh. See, you got pictures like this. I can only imagine when CNN gets a hold of this, they're just going to use these pictures right here with the AR-15. Okay, that's it. We got to take these out at the hands of society. We can't trust them anymore. Lamestream media will spin this. Yep. That's a shoulder thing that goes up. Ban it. What was that thing Tucker Carlson got that one lady on that wrote this? She wrote this piece of legislation. What was it? Was it a barrel shroud? Do you guys remember that? And he was pushing her on what's a barrel shroud, and she couldn't even answer it. And she wrote the legislation on the barrel shroud. She couldn't even tell him what the barrel shroud was. Barrel shroud equals shoulder thing that goes up. Says Ed the Kyle killer. Pepperjack, regardless, police backed off and no guns were taken. Yeah, that's well, I don't know if no guns were taken. I know that no shots were fired, or at least I think I know that. All right, guys, I'm going to try to make this short. Share this video with everybody you know. I know it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Not a lot of people are going to see this. It probably won't get a lot of views, but just share it because we need a different perspective on this, and we definitely want to get ahead of it before mainstream lamestream media gets in touch with it or gets a hold of it and starts slaughtering and spinning it. So I appreciate you guys tuning in so late. Thanks, Swamp Fox. I really appreciate that. Oh, and there was another, let me see, there was another super chat. CNN is going to get wet all over that Hitler quote. Yeah. There's another super chat. Let me find it. Love your channel, man. Keep them coming. That's from Michael Kenny. Thanks, Michael. I really appreciate it. Thanks for the support, guys. Swamp Fox, thank you. All right, guys. You guys have a good night. Sleep well. If sleeping is in the cards for you right now, I'm going to bed. It's 3:06 a.m. Oklahoma time, and this boy's tired. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Please share this video. See you in the next heavily censored Shadow Man video.